Today is Monday, July 21st, 2025. It's Luther Wilson III here. Real estate pro, as a lot of you know, representing for Upside Property Services, making moves here in the Kansas City market. And I want to put a bow or wrap things up on my most recent video that I uploaded. And this will be part 2 basically of From Side Hustle to Empire, all right? 12 ways to make money in real estate, okay? On the last video, I went through all 12 of them, and there were some other things that I wanted to mention. I didn't really think about it until afterwards, and I referred to my notes as well. But I want to encourage y'all, okay? So if you're tuned in to this YouTube channel or watching this video, then there's a very good chance that you are interested in real estate, either investing in it or making money in real estate somehow, okay? And so besides investing in real estate, which is my favorite thing to do in real estate, okay? My long-term investments, that's my number one thing that I enjoy doing. But as a real estate service provider, as a practitioner, over the last 14 years or so, I've done quite a few things in the real estate space, okay? And as I mentioned on the first part of this session, my parents have been doing real estate for over 30 years. And so I've watched them maneuver through the real estate industry and do different things as well, okay? And so my hope is to definitely, educate, inspire, and maybe collaborate with some of y'all in the future. But I also want to encourage y'all, those who are looking to place capital, of course, those who want to invest. I talk about that in a bunch of my previous videos. But I also want to encourage those people who are newer and they're maybe trying to get their foot in the door, or maybe they've been in the game, they're seasoned, but they want to make a transition, or they want to create another source of income via real estate. Because, with it being third quarter 2025, the landscape has changed. It's almost totally different ball game now than it was it feels like a few months ago. Definitely quite a bit different since COVID and since interest rates have gone up and the regulation around real estate has changed as well. And then it's just the market conditions, things that are out of our control. And I know that me and some of my referral partners, some of my business partners, some of my associates and clients, we've had to make some pretty drastic changes over the last couple of years. And so I want to keep y'all up to speed and encourage y'all, okay? So I mentioned on that last video that my favorite is sales and marketing, all right? I've been a real estate agent since 2014. And then prior to that, I did some wholesaling, some deal finding, all right? And then I eventually got into property management. And so part of what I also wanted to do on this video is talk about how I landed where I am today, all right? And so, but again, besides my favorite way to make money in real estate is by investing. My buy and hold, long-term cash flow investments has been it. But along the way, I've needed to make money and source capital, raise capital. And so I've been able to do that in various aspects, helping people with real estate, okay? And so I want to encourage y'all again, how you can make it happen, all right? So you're definitely gonna wanna refer back to the past video if you haven't seen it yet, because I go through the 12 and you'll wanna know what might be a good fit for you. So I mentioned how you can determine what's a good fit for you, all right? Barrier to entry is one thing that I didn't mention before, all right? That can look like how much capital you have available, the opportunity that's available in your market. You can look at competition, if that's a thing for you, seeing what other people in your market are doing to determine like, all right, does it make sense in 2025 and beyond to go into this type of thing, okay? So besides barrier to entry, you got the opportunity has to make really good sense, all right? And then, of course, like based on your skill set, your personality, okay, what you're good at, what you could bring to the table, that can help you decide which route to take, okay? So, and then beyond those items, okay, like getting it rolling and keeping it rolling was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's one thing to see a good opportunity and then get it rolling, but things can change, right? I mean, there's a very good chance that you're gonna be collaborating or partnering with someone else as you build this thing out. And again, like you may not necessarily have to start your own business, okay? You can work for somebody in the real estate industry and gain experience that way. And of course, that way too, you're gonna be working with other people, okay? So getting it rolling, keeping it rolling, okay? Knowing when to hold, knowing when to fold is something else that I wanted to talk about too, just briefly. Is because at a certain point, the opportunity, the market changes, the circumstance around what you're doing may change, and you got to look at, okay, am I going to keep beating my head against the wall, or am I going to pivot? And then at that point, you may have to shut the company down, or you may be able to sell the company, or you may be able to shift gears and refer some of your customers and clients out to another practitioner who's already got that thing up and rolling, type of thing. And so a key part, it sounds really cool having multiple streams of income, but it can get very overwhelming. One other thing that I mentioned briefly on the last video was that at one point I was doing 5 or 6, I think 6 or 7 of these things at once. And another key part is like avoiding burnout or minimizing your stress levels, okay? There's gonna be a certain amount of stress, okay? That's gonna be part of you being a salesperson or a service provider or an entrepreneur or whatever it is that you're doing, but being able to balance that out and being able to give yourself time to rest and regroup and that sort of thing is huge. And so something I said on a live video a couple weeks ago, the way I see it lately, less is more, okay? And FYI, for those that are curious what I had going on all at the same time, it was around 2021 through part of 2023 when it really got heated. I was already investing, okay? I was already selling real estate as a realtor, okay? And I thought it'd be a good idea to start a property management company. So we added that on top. And then I was already doing some advising or consulting, okay? And then part of the advising or the consulting, I was doing construction projects or renovation projects. So there's the maintenance and the renovations in there, okay? And then meanwhile, I'm doing basically the asset management too. All right, and then I did a couple speaking engagements during that time frame. Okay, I think I was in a mastermind. I was doing a lot of networking, and things started to shift a little bit. And I'm kind of grateful that it happened because I had a lot going on. So something y'all got to think about, right? I mentioned before the shiny object syndrome. Okay, and you got to determine like, okay, what's going to be your main thing, all right, that you know that you can be good at, you know that you enjoy it, you got the resources and the mindset, the personality, the skill set to be able to do that. And then from there, if you're going to add something else, ideally, okay, it's got to fit in with what you're already doing. The cool thing about what I had going on is all of it kind of tied in together. When I worked with an investor, okay, I could consult with them, and then I could help them close a deal, and then I can get them plugged in with our renovation crew, and then, okay, if they wanted to refi to keep the property to pay off the short-term debt, I could plug them in with the lender, okay, and then from there, if they wanted to do a rental of sorts, my property management firm could assist them with that. Or if they wanted to do seller financing, I could help them do that as well. So it all kind of tied in together. And looking back, I mean, maybe I could have did some things. I definitely could have did some things different. But that's something that you got to think about. It's like, all right, one thing for sure, you got your baby, you got your main thing. And then if you're just dying to expand, maybe look at adding one or two other arms, okay? And then again, hopefully it ties in together, okay? And if you go beyond that, like, good luck. Like, you're gonna definitely have to bring in reinforcements. There's a good chance that you're gonna have to source capital somehow if it's not already there that you can use, okay? And then you're gonna have to either bring in another partner, or you're gonna have to bring in an assistant or some type of teammate, okay, to help coordinate things, all right? And so I think that is just about everything that I wanted to cover. Okay, I was gonna talk about how I landed on where I'm at now. So right now, I've scaled it back, as I mentioned before. All the things that I was doing pretty much between 2020 and 2023, things started to change. And now what I'm doing, I'm still selling as a real estate broker for sure, all right? Still have my investments, which is gravy, right? And then the lending has been cool, all right? And then I have some plans going forward, but I'm not really gonna give you all the game. I'm not gonna get into that. But again, my goal here is to encourage, educate, inspire. If some of y'all wanna collaborate, if you have a need, especially in and around Kansas City, I'm definitely your guy. Hit me up, because even though I've scaled back and focused on basically those three things, the investments, the sales, and the lending, I still have a lot of people that reach out needing some kind of assistance with real estate. And at that point, at this point, I'm just referring that to other people that I know in the real estate space, which is a plug for y'all as well, who are looking to get in and expand as well. So again, it's Luther Wilson III. I wanted to put a bow on the, last session that I did regarding from side hustle to empire, multiple streams of income via real estate. And for those newer cats, for those seasoned cats who are looking to make a move, who are looking to get in, definitely keep me in mind. Reach out if you have questions or, want to set up a coffee appointment. I'm pretty open book for the most part, and I'm happy to share with you. So if you made it this far, appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day.